Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands. In today's video we play Kill Team with the Phobos strike team against the Farstalker Kinband. I'm Simone and I play the Space Marines.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will play the Croods. Before we started, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you are not subscribed yet and want to help us, join a growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
Today's mission is Bridge Assault. The two Kill teams will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 5 points of interest and they are arranged in this way. Their status is marked as active. Each attacking operative will be able to perform an action to sabotage the consoles.
The victory points will be assigned at the end of the battle based on how many consoles were sabotaged. Every console has different scores. 1 point for each console on the right, 2 points for each console in the middle, and 6 points for the console on the left.
The Tau stormed the assault ship of the Space Marines who had to face the Pathfinder's Kill team in the Patreon battle report. In defense, the Phobos have barricaded themselves inside the command room and are preparing for their last stand against the Croods, sent ahead to flush them out by the Tau. The Phobos strike team is made up of 6 Marines. The leader is a River Sergeant armed with special issue ball pistol. The communication specialist, the Commsman, has been chosen to enhance the team's capabilities. The explosive specialist is the Incursor mine layer. It is always useful to have someone dedicated to big booms. As support from the rear, there is an Incursor marksman. Furthermore, there is an infiltrator veteran for melee combat. And finally, a Helix adept, to keep operatives alive. As equipment, I assign 2 purity seals, one to the leader and one to the marksman, then a grav chute to the leader. As equipment, I assigned a purity seal to the leader, a throwing knife to the Helix adept, and a frag grenade and a smoke grenade to the veteran.
The Croods have picked up a distress call coming from Tau, engaged in a battle with the Space Marines. A kill team was sent to rescue them, and once the threat has been taken care of, to eliminate every evidence of their passage. The kill team is composed by 12 operatives. The leader of the team is a Croot kill broker, equipped with a pulse rifle. Then there are 2 long-distance specialists, the Croot bow hunter and the Croot long sight. Both have the possibility to shoot while having the conceal order. Right after the long-distance operatives, we have the 2 short-distance specialists, the Croot heavy gunner equipped with a Dvorgite skinner and the Croot pistolier, with his dual Croot pistols. If I manage to shoot with them, I believe they cause massive damage. Next in line there's the Croot Cold Blood. He's a veteran and evolved to be a little more tough than the other Croods. Then we have 4 operatives who prefer hand-to-hand combat, a Croot Cat Skin, a Croot Stalker, and 2 Croot Hounds. To support the team there's a Croot Tracker, with his loyal pet Ra, a bird who can help the others to locate the enemies more easily. Last but not least, we have a Croot Warrior equipped with Croot Rifle. As additional equipment, I gave meat and a ritual blade to the Kill Broker, a trophy and the meat to the Pistolier, and then I gave meat to the Stalker, Heavy Gunner, and Cold Blood.
The defender has the possibility of deploying 4 Hatchway Jammers. I decided to block the 4 doors on the front and sides, so as to force Andrea to move deeper. I then deployed all the models in the outermost room, in good view of the only nearby door accessible by the Croods. The internal room is certainly defensible from the outside as well, since the only door leading to the point of interest is under my control. My goal is to stop the Croods before they manage to enter the main room. If I hold out long enough, I will be able to prevent Andrea from reaching the main point of interest, which is worth 6 victory points.
Since Simone blocked all 4 entrances in front of my deployment zone, I decided to split my team into small groups. On the left side, I deployed the Heavy Gunner, the Pistolier, the Bow Hunter, and the Long Sight. To help them, I also deployed the Stalker and the Tracker together with the Hound. On the other side instead, we have the Kill Broker with the Cold Blood, the Cat Skin, the Warrior, and the other Hound.
It's time to do the scouting phase. Each of us chooses a number of dice equal to the corresponding number of the choice. 1 for Fortify, 2 for Infiltrate, and 3 for Recon. Orange dice for the Marines and green dice for the Croods. I chose Fortify, while Andrea chose Recon. As a special rule of this mission, the initiative will always be with the attacker, the Croods. I start the scouting phase and place the barrier here, to give cover to the marksman.
Edward moves 3 inches forward.
In the strategy phase, I use a command point for Bolter Discipline, which allows my operatives to perform 2 shoot actions during their activation. Then I reveal the TAC Corps Central Control. If I maintain control of the center of the map, I gain a victory point.
I reveal 2 TAC Corps, Triangulate and Overrun. For the first one, my operatives had to reach each kill zone edge that is not my own and perform the action Triangulate. For Overrun instead, I gain victory points if at the end of any turning point, I have at least an operative in each quarter of the kill zone. The first operative to activate is Jesse. she moves forward behind the door and goes on guard waiting for someone to open that hatch.
The commsman opens the door so as to ensure a possible escape route for the Marines, then moves inside the room so as to be able to defend if necessary.
Jimmy activates, and with him, his Pekra is activated too. I place a Pekra token on the battlefield within 6 inches of the tracker. Then, with his first action, he gives 1 APL to the long side. With his second, he does the action Triangulate.
It is often said that the attack is the best defense, and my veteran is convinced of this strategy. Remus moves forward reaching the door, opens it with his second action, and then launches a frag grenade directly at the crude heavy gunner's head. Being a weapon with the blast special rule, all 5 operatives at that point are hit. Let's start with the heavy gunner, 4 shots at 3+. 3 successful normal hits.
Saving with 3 dice at 5+. Not a single save.
Now the sniper right behind, 4 shots at 3+. Oh, much better than before, 1 critical hit and 3 normal hits.
Saving again with 5+, only the crit is saved.
The hound is also hit with 4 shots at 3+. Double 1 just because I don't want to hurt a dog too much. 2 hits.
5+ to save. Just 1 dice saved.
It's time for the Crute with the bow, 4 shots at 3+. 1 critical hit and 2 normal hits.
5+ to save for him as well. Not even 1 dice saved.
And lastly, the Crute near the wall. He takes 1 less shot because there is an operative in engage order in front of him. 3 shots at 3+. 1 critical hit and 1 normal hit.
Last one to save at 5+, just the normal one. The final result of this shooting attack is Kate and Bradley both injured with 2 wounds left. Jeremy with only 1 wound, and both Spike and Vincent with 5 wounds each. I guess I could have saved more dice, but since they're all still alive, I can't complain. Kate dashes and peeks inside the room to see the enemy leader. Then, with her second action, she shoots in 6 shots at 3+. 3 normal hits and a crit.
With penetration -2, I can only defend with 1 dice, which automatically saves thanks to cover. 7 wounds taken by Viggo, 6 wounds remaining. The Helix Adept witnesses the scene and rushes to heal the leader, using the ability that allows him to heal 2d3 wounds. 3 wounds return to Viggo, he goes up to 9. Then, Leonid with the third action throws his silent knife against the Crute who wounded his leader, 4 shots at 3+. 3 normal hits on the Crute.
Kate is in cover, so she saves 1 automatically and 2 at 5+. Nope, unfortunately, she's forced to leave us. Bradley dashes to have the enemy leader inside and uses the ability longside to shoot while in conceal. Then, he aims at the target and shoots 4 shots at 3+. 2 crits and 2 normal hits.
With 6 mortal wounds and 3 normal wounds, I can't save him. Viggo would be dead. Luckily, the Helix Adept is still there ready to save him by bringing him back to life, with only 1 wound left. I would have preferred not to have to resuscitate him so quickly, but at least he's still alive. Viggo is no longer safe and I can't let the Crutes eliminate him, so he moves into the next room to catch his breath.
Jeremy does the ability Energize to gain the little 5+ rule, and then shoots glide arrows at the Phobos near the door, 4 shots at 4+. Rerolling 1 with a command point? Nope, 1 crit and 2 normal hits.
The veteran defends with 3 dice at 3+. 1 critical and 1 normal dice saved, so Remus takes 3 wounds from the normal hit that he failed to save. The marksman moves a little further to get inside of the Crute pistolier, then fires 4 shots at 2+. 3 normal hits and thank goodness I hit on a 2+.
Penetration -1, so I can save only with 2 dice, saving 1 automatically thanks to the cover and the other at 5+. Saved!
Thanks to the ploy used this turn, I can make the marksman fire a second time. Again, 4 shots at 2+. Okay! 3 critical hits and a normal hit. I like that 666.
Well, I definitely cannot save that. Jess is eliminated.
As soon as the marksman eliminates his target, I can reveal the tag of Deadly Marksman. If my marksman eliminates another model, I will get a victory point.
To avoid an overwatch, Spike charges the marine behind the wall and passes the turn. Having group activation too, I can also activate Slink. That uses movement and dash to get closer to the door.
The mine layer carries out its main task by placing a mine as a surprise in front of the entrance to the corridor to prevent possible breaches in the wall. Then he moves next to the door, and with the third action he targets the Crute alongside thanks to his ability Multispectrum Array. Targets must be more than 2 circles from obscuring terrain to be obscured. 4 shots at 3+. 2 critical hits.
Ouch! Saving with 3 dice at 5+. Double 6, he's safe! Chris does the action Triangulate. and gains me my first victory point.
It's Overwatch time! The first to shoot is the mine layer, back on the long side to try to eliminate him. 4 shots at 4+. Just 1 hit.
Saving again with 5+. Save! Now, since Simone has finished to activate his operatives and has no more Overwatches, I can finish to activate mine. Edward uses movement and dash to reach the door at the end of the corridor. Then both Steven and Scott follow him with movement and dash. The last one to activate is Vincent, that uses the ability Stealth Attack. He performs a free charge and fight action on the Phobos behind the door and deals damage twice. Rolling the dice, 3 attacks at 2+. 3 normal attacks. I need a crit, so rerolling 1. Nope, just 2 normal dice.
The veteran fights the Groot, making 4 attacks at 3+. Oh, this hurts! 1 critical attack and 2 normal attacks.
Unlucky, Vincent deals damage with both his attacks.
All I have to do is to get the Groot out of the way with the 3 remaining attacks. Great fight!
Vincent is removed from the battlefield. You did great, dude.
3 wounds left for Remus, the veteran.
At the end of the turn I gain 1 victory point for the Taco overrun. Well, I really did not expect Simone to attack me first. That was really annoying. My left flank is completely gone. Luckily, I have 5 more untouched operatives on the other side of the battlefield. If I manage to eliminate some of the Phobos in the next turn, I should be in a good position to win the game.
At the end of the firefight phase, I get a victory point for the Taco central control, having control of the center of the kill zone. This turn went much better than I thought. All my marines are still alive, even if the veteran and the leader are not in very good shape. The Groots are still outside the room, and thanks to the archway jammers I placed, I have a chance to fight only half of Andrea's kill team, eliminating the Groots' numerical advantage. Now I have to manage to kill the operatives on that side before the others arrive from behind.
In the strategy phase, Steven uses his ability Call the Kill on the enemy mine layer. Each time a friendly operative fights or shoots the target, I can automatically retain a successful dice without rolling it.
To start the round well, I use 2 ploys, Bolter Discipline and Shock Assault. Simply put, if my operatives don't take fight actions, they can shoot twice if they use both weapons, and if they don't take shoot actions, they can fight twice.
Spike is the first to activate. He fights making 4 attacks at 3+. 1 hit is all needed to eliminate the target.
I have no chance to defend, I can only remove the veteran from the kill zone. Without the ability to have the initiative, there is nothing I could have done to save him.
With his second action, he moves back a little to remain in cover from possible shootings. The Link instead moves and does the action triangulate on the last edge of the kill zone, gaining the last victory point of the Taco triangulate.
Nathan the mine layer opens fire on the Groot long side to end his existence, 4 shots at 3+. Oh, wait. This roll is pretty depressing. I reroll a dice with a command point. Ah, forget it.
Nice roll. Saving with 3 dice at 5+. He's safe.
Let's try again. The mine layer fires 1 more time. 4 shots at 3+. A little better. 2 normal hits.
Saving again. He saved both. That's a miracle.
Saddened by the futility of his life, Nathan takes cover behind the barrier.
Jimmy activates and moves his Packra forward. Then he uses the ability Mark for the Hunt on the enemy medic. With his second action, he gives 1 APL to the long side.
The commsman changes the order to engage and finally enters the game by moving next to the barrier where the leader was previously. Then, once there, he targets the Groot long side, trying to shoot better than the mine layer. 4 shots at 3+. Ah, haha, really not much better than the other one. What do I have to do to kill that Groot?
Will he survive this too? Yes, he survived!
Alan shoots again. I really need to take out the target now, or I won't have a chance to do it anymore. 4 shots at 3+. With lethal 5+, that's 2 critical hits and 1 normal hit. Fingers crossed.
Ouch. This will be hard. Unlucky. I think that he's definitely the MVP, but for now, he's forced to leave the battlefield. Jeremy changes order and engage, moves, and shoots fused arrows on the enemy marksman. 4 shots at 4+. Only 2 crits. Rerolling 1 with a command point? Nope.
With -1 penetration, I have to save 2 critical hits at 3+. A normal save isn't enough. 10 wounds suffered by the marksman, bringing him to 2 wounds. This was a tough blow. The Helix Adept comes to the rescue by moving within an inch of the operative and healing him with the second action of 2d3 wounds. Double 6! Perfect! 6 wounds recovered. 8 wounds are already more acceptable.
I need Chris to stay where he is to gain the second victory point of the Taco overrun, so he passes his turn.
The marksman, who is no longer injured, shoots at the bow hunter, trying to return the favor. 4 shots at 2+. Oh boy, I think he's still a little shaken up. Great performance from the Marine shooters today. Trying to adjust his aim a bit, Yorin fires again. 4 more shots at 2+. Lethal 5+, so that's 2 critical hits and 1 normal. Luckily he could shoot again.
With only 1 wound remaining and -1 penetration, Jeremy cannot save the wounds, so he's eliminated.
After making sure he has finally hit the target and having obtained his first victory point thanks to the TACOP Deadly Marksman, Yorin moves next to the wall to get a good view of the corridor.
Scott moves forward to reach the door.
With only 1 wound, the leader can't do much. He changes the order to conceal and hides behind the point of interest. Then he uses the ability Strategize to gain an extra command point.
Edward moves, opens the door, and finishes the movement near the breachable wall in front of him.
Perfectly positioned to do an overwatch with the marksman against the crew that just entered the corridor. 4 shots at 3+. 1 critical hit and 1 normal hit.
-1 penetration, so saving with 2 dice at 5+. Not even 1. 1 wound left to Edward. The last operative to activate is Steven, that moves behind the cutscene. But at this point, I'm still too far from the objectives and have no possibility of doing the mission action Sabotage Console. The win goes to the Phobos. This was an unfortunate game. This mission was really difficult for my crews. Having to charge a really strong team both in close combat and in ranged attacks was a nightmare. If I had to defend, I'm sure I could have used the small spaces to my advantage. Oh well, it will be better next time.
This was a surprise! I didn't think I could block the crews directly at the entrance to the main room. I had imagined a fight to the last marine, with difficult positioning choices to be made. But instead, I managed to bottle up the crews in a single door and take them out one after the other. The placement of the hatchway jammers helped me a lot, and the strategy worked perfectly, despite the terrible dice rolls I made. Truly incredible. Before finishing, we would like to take a moment to thank our members who have decided to support us on Patreon. And if you guys want to support the channel and enjoy an additional and exclusive battle report per month, or see your models showcased in our videos, the Patreon link is in the description. We are waiting for you on Discord.
And if you have come this far, write the words Toy Guns in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!